Impeachment.
It's good.
Okay. All right. Now the way impeachment's going, obviously, so far, the impeachment trial. So
Yes,
let's not
yeah,
confuse
yeah.
because the number of people who confuse impeachments with the trial really pisses me off, especially politicians. Politicians should know the difference. But anyway, the trial, the way things are clearly going, I'm not telling you anything you don't know, is that Republicans are clearly desperate to not judge Trump on his merits.
Yes.
Because that gets them to an awful position where they're either alienating their base or they're alienating the people in the general election.
Yes.
One of the two, right? And so they're trying to avoid that by making it all about a basic procedural question, which is, can you hold a trial? How can you remove a president who's already left, essentially? And we should be clear about one thing before we forget this, because I think it's already been forgotten by the press.
Yes.
That this is only being held after Trump left office because Mitch McConnell refused to let it be held while he was holding office.
Yes.
They had a week and a half to hold. Now, they're talking about a 3-day trial at the moment.
Yes.
So, potentially.
Yeah, yeah.
So, they could have held their 3-day trial while Trump was still there, but Mitch McConnell chose not to. So, I don't want to hear him or any Republicans or anyone for that matter complaining
Hear that, Mitch?
about that.
Chaz doesn't want to hear it from you.
You're under notice, Mitch McConnell. That would be very cynical, Mitch McConnell. Anyway, so that's
Sir.
So that's the first thing. That's the first thing I want to put out there. The second thing I want to put out there is that we're already hearing a lot of crap about Roberts not presiding, Chief Justice Roberts not presiding over the impeachment.
Yeah.
The reason he's not presiding over the impeachment is because he doesn't have to, and why would he want to?
Yeah.
He doesn't have to because it's not the sitting president anymore. The whole concept is that there's a massive conflict of interest if you get, say, the vice president presiding over a trial of the president.
Yeah.
And so that's why Chief Justice. But now he doesn't have to, and I don't blame him for not wanting to be involved.
Yes.
But Rand Paul said, quote, if Justice Roberts is not presiding over this, then it is not impeachment. This charade will be nothing more than bitter partisanship and political theatre. No, they're following the Constitution. So, yeah. I mean, like I said on the show, I agree. It looks terrible.
Rand Paul, there's another half man.
Oh, man. He's had a bad few weeks.
Oh, quarter man.
Anyway.
Well, he was just relentlessly mocked and emasculated by Trump in the primaries. And, yet another one who
he was,
decided that
called him Mr. 0%,
the path back to redemption was by wedging himself as far up Trump as he could.
Well, he's very popular amongst his base.
Yes.
But we should just very briefly just actually deal with that question about can you sack an ex-president? Yeah. And look, there is history, which is like there's two elements in particular. There's no direct analogy. And this would have to go to the Supreme Court for sure if he was ever actually removed. Yeah. So who knows how they would rule. But in 1876, the Secretary of War, William Belknap, great name. Belknap? Yeah. Okay, thank you. He resigned to avoid being impeached for a corruption scandal. But then they impeached him anyway after he resigned. And then they held the trial. And a big factor of that was them having the same argument. Can you sack the ex-Secretary of War?
And what did they say?
They said, yes, you can. But having said that, while the majority of both houses said you can, enough of those who said you couldn't voted against his removal to mean he didn't get removed.
Right.
So it's actually a direct analogy to what's probably about to happen. Yes. Because the Senate just now also said, yes, we can hold a trial. Yeah. But a lot of those 45 are now going to vote against removing him for exactly that reason. Yes. But you can, according to the Senate in 1876. Also in 1862, a judge, West Humphreys, left his judgeship to join the Confederacy. So he left his job. A year afterwards, he was impeached and then removed. So it happened for a judge.
There you go.
So theoretically, you can. And I should also say there was an impeachment going on when the Founding Fathers were writing this crap in the Constitution.
We're writing this crap.
There was an impeachment going on in England at the time. Of a guy called Warren Hastings, who was a former Governor General of India. He'd left his office 2 years before his impeachment. Yes. And it was repeatedly referenced during the Constitutional Convention while they were writing this particular article. Right, yes. So they were super aware of the possibility, and they clearly chose to not address it to eliminate that kind of impeachment, which they probably would have if they wanted to.
Yes.
So just flag that. And I should also note that this whole line of argument is, if we're being fair dinkum, is bullshit, because I don't know about you, but I've spent the last 4 years listening to Republicans talking about potentially impeaching Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama.
Yes.
Including Matt Gaetz, and I played today, Trump himself talked about impeaching Obama in 2020.
Yeah.
So he thinks you can impeach people after they're president as well.
There you go.
So anyway, before we move on, Rand Paul.
Yes.
Did you see in his resolution, this has got me going, such bad faith projection.
Yeah.
Anyway, Democrats, I've got the quote here, Democrats are about to do something no self-respecting senator has ever stooped to. Democrats are insisting the election is actually not over. And so they insist on regurgitating the bitterness of the election. How much cheek does he have